explore, save, and share recipes from your favorite foodie influencers. Save to collections, create free meal plans, and shop the ingredients you need with ease. On FoodSocial, we make it easy to find great recipes, get your ingredients, and connect with hundreds of trusted creators.
Look at me, I'm up on the top of you today,
Put you
Bill.
on top. Yeah,
You.
put you on top.
That's great. Well, welcome everyone. Here we are Tuesday. We did miss yesterday. Apologies. This happens. Life is crazy. So we are joined today with my dear friend, Ugo Gamino. He is sandwiched between Bill and I. He is a dear friend. Ugo Gamino and I met almost 2 years ago. Well,
Yeah.
2 years in February, next February, at the Siete headquarters. We got to be a part of the initial premier group of creators that Siete invited to their headquarters. And I have a funny story that you probably don't know, Ugo.
Okay.
You remember when we were doing the knife, they bought us these gorgeous maiden knives and we were, I think we were prepping, we were having beverages. We were making a cocktail or something and we were cutting like things to go into jalapenos or I can't even remember, but I was so busy watching your knife skills that I almost sliced. I was like within millimeters of just slicing off my finger and I was like, oh my gosh.
I appreciate you saying that because it's these conversations that I was just having this conversation with like a group of like parents over the weekend about how like if there's one thing that I'm like overly particular about in the kitchen is like uniformity, like in slices or dices, and I was like literally doing like a 5-minute TED talk on the importance of it to these other parents of like in certain dishes you want uniformity. Like if you get too big of a slice of an onion in something, it completely like unbalances the flavor profile of something.
Yeah.
So it's just funny how, well, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, and his knife skills, just so everyone is aware, he is a trained chef. So that's why I was clearly immediately intimidated. And then immediately talking to him, I was immediately like, he is so just a normal person, just like I am. But the knife skills were amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So Hugo, this has been a journey for you. I know we met. You are a creator on Instagram platform, and that's why you were invited to Siete, as was I. But you have a lot in the background of that. Chef, storyteller, you're into fashion as well. He's a snappy dresser, folks. Like when
we were prepping for the show today, I was like, oh man, Ugo is quite a sharp dresser.
Oh, he's got the outfits and he had on this crocheted shirt in Austin that I am still on the hunt for my son because he could pull that off.
Yeah.
No, thank
anyway,
you.
Yes, he is a multifaceted, lovely human, but we thought it would be fun to have him on today as Hispanic Heritage Month is wrapping up. And you were invited, or did you find Hispanic Kitchen? Did Hispanic Kitchen find you? I know it happened earlier this spring, but I know it's been pretty pivotal for you in terms of your creativity and feeling lit up again around food. So if you could maybe share with us a little bit about that initially, and we can kind of go from there.
Yeah. So as like you mentioned, I was writing and I was creating online and behind the scenes. I was a restaurant consultant, and I mean, I've been in the industry in some capacity for over 20 years. And my regular job at the time was helping restaurants like in like brand identity. essentially like restaurant concepts, menu development, like the whole gamut of things, while I was just kind of this kind of passion project of writing and creating cooking uh, online. And NGL Mitu and I had actually connected with Vanessa Vigil. She is like the chief brand officer, and she had been following my work, and I'd seen that they had
Okay.
this entire kind of company based around like Latino culture from like a women's perspective, from like a Gen Z perspective, from like pop culture. And then I saw that they had a page called Hispanic Kitchen. And at
Okay.
the time, it was a lot of like meme stuff and just anything dealing with food and within the culture. And I said, I kind of was that guy that knocks on doors. And, I said,
Yeah.
is there something in the future that you guys are planning to do with this? And, Vanessa was very open about that. She really wanted to transform that platform into like a true cooking platform. And I
Mhm.
said, well, let me put
Yes.
something together of what I think that this brand could be.
Hmm.
And I really looked at it from a perspective of two things, right? From my professional background and from the social media background, where like I remember I was creating, and a lot of brands would kind of come around like in certain times of the year and kind of cherry pick like, oh, Latino food. And I said, what if we created a platform that was 365 days of spotlighting, elevating, and showcasing Latino cuisine from a Latino like POV, right? So
Yeah.
everything from creators, restaurants, chefs, and really kind of telling the story from across the culinary landscape. And
Hmm.
so I was in March, I was tapped as the head of culinary concepts for Hispanic Kitchen. So essentially taking that brand and really kind of restructuring what the entire platform would be, how it would look like,
Yeah.
what kind of content we would put out. And it's been a really, really like prideful thing to be a part of, to be able to
Yeah.
showcase the cuisine, the landscape that I hold very dear to my heart, and being part of a company that really promotes it and advocates for it, and from a POV of being respectful for it and not being like nichey towards like the cuisine, right? So yeah, I've been head of culinary strategy for Hispanic Kitchen for a little over like 6 months,
Yeah.
and we've grown in not only Instagram, but we've grown from 900 followers on TikTok to we are now at 11,900 on
Wow.
TikTok. So we've seen a lot of growth. We've seen a lot of restaurants, a lot of chefs, a lot of creators really kind of buy into what we're trying to do. And yeah, I feel very, very blessed to be in this position for sure.
Yeah. I know that your heritage and culture is very important to you. I remember sitting in um, another memory that's so great about Austin is you were sitting with me and Alexandra from the Hangry Latina was
Yeah.
sitting next to me.
Hmm.
We were at the food truck having breakfast, and I had never had, excuse me. Well, we were having a coffee tasting with
Yeah.
Desnudas, and
Yeah.
then we had tacos. I can't remember the name of the food truck though.
Veracruz tacos. The only reason I remember is because I was literally in Austin like a week ago and I went back. Yeah, it was called Veracruz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I had never had migas before, which was blowing my mind because I grew up with a Mexican auntie,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and so that you and Alexandra took the time to explain that to me, the around that meant a lot to me as
Yeah.
someone that I am immersed in the Latin culture from my auntie's perspective and what
Yeah.
my grandma on my dad's side taught me because she grew up in Chihuahua, Mexico. But that you guys were not like appalled that I didn't know that, and that you were kind and took the time to explain that and why you enjoyed it and how you enjoyed it different ways. It meant a lot to me that you took that it was not offensive to you, that it was just like, we're going to educate and not make anyone feel less than for
Yeah.
not knowing something.
Well, it's funny you say that because I always tell people that food is like that trinity of like things that could be very touchy, like politics,
Yeah.
religion, and food. And I feel like food is that thing where, and especially within the Latino culture, it's very personal, right? So like if I
Yeah.
was to cook rice and I tell people this is how you cook rice, the internet will completely come for me because it's their perception of rice is like my mom, my nana, my tia,
Right.
like everybody makes it very differently, right?
Yeah.
And so my attitude with food has always been this, and especially within the food in my culture has always been this. If I want to advocate for my food, my culture's food, I need to help educate and help put a like present a platform for it in a very approachable way and not it like I don't think food should be a judgmental topic, right?
Yeah.
Like just because I grew up in the food industry and I've been cooking my entire life, if somebody has me over for dinner or lunch and they put
Mhm.
together whatever it may be, I'm super grateful for that meal,
Yeah.
right? So the same thing for me applies to when somebody doesn't know a certain dish or a traditional way of making something.
Yeah.
You kind of have to have a little bit of like I always tell people take it into context, right?
Yeah.
Like that person might have not grown up in the same environment as I did.
Yeah.
And to begin with, our food in just alone in Mexico, I would just say this, is so regionally different.
Yeah.
And I think my mom being from northern Mexico and Tamaulipas and my dad being from Jalisco, two vastly different states, they cook way different in both states. It kind of gave me a better understanding of like, not everybody's rice is the same. Not everybody
Yeah.
knows of this dish. So when somebody wants to know something about food in general, and in particular anything within my culture,
Yeah.
I feel like happy to and open to have that dialogue with them
Yeah.
versus it being a dissertation of how and why you
Yeah.
don't know something, right? Like
Yeah.
I think food is that one common denominator that should, and it's not always, but it should be approachable.
Yeah.
We totally
Yeah.
feel that way too, and I love that about you. We got that when you spoke with Pooja and Michelle last year on the podcast, and we believe that too. Like a lot of times, people will ask me like, how have you grown the creator community at Food Social? And it's like with this deliberate, intentionality about having broad representation of as many cultures and cuisines as we possibly can. And because that very reason that food connects all of us. And you started off by saying it's one of these polarizing things, but like it totally doesn't have to be.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
exactly.
a beautiful thing that connects all of us. And the fact that different regions of Mexico make their rice differently, like it just there are a million examples of that across every culture. And I think that's like one of the most beautiful parts of being a person, actually, is
Yeah.
that we get to experience that together. It's like one of the few things that's common to all of us. And I love that you bring that to the table as a creator and as somebody who's representing Hispanic culture, through this page and just in life. I love that you feel that way about it.
Yeah, like there's a creator that we featured a couple of times in Hispanic Kitchen. He happens to live in Belgium. He's originally from Mexico, but what I love about his content is he's trying to recreate things that he grew up with ingredients from Europe and showcasing like some substitutes that you could do with it. And I think that that is like a beautiful thing where people are. I tell people all the time, my cooking is never going to be as good as my mother's or is never going to be as good as my grandmother's. But the fact that I am trying, just trying and essentially to recreate or present a meal in a way that my family did, it's that lineage that we're keeping, right? And I think that that's why, to your point, like I believe in like food is this communal thing. I don't believe in this like competitive realm of like
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
It's a, and I told this all the time, like kind of tying it back to my storytelling. I've used storytelling as, I mean, I've used food as a vessel to tell these stories, right?
Hmm.
Like there's nothing better that I enjoy than having people over for dinner and I'm semi cooking, semi eating, semi having a glass of something, and we're like in this communal like kind of conversation. It is like my favorite thing to do,
Yeah.
more than going to dinner, more than experiencing these amazing like restaurants. It's that like community of eating and cooking together.
Yeah. I that it just connects us, and it's unfortunately gotten contentious over the last few years. And I love that you're making space for, and like we are, just food should connect us all, and it does.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to lean into that, because we need connection. We have it. We have to have it. I mean, we got to lock elbows and all work together and bring some harmony to food, because it is a beautiful thing. Food is beautiful. So
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I always tell people all the time, I was like, I guarantee you that if you were to get a table together of people that disagree on multiple different subject matters and you get
yeah,
them together in a table and eating, there's
yeah,
going to be some commonality in that on that
of
table.
course.
Like for
Yeah,
somewhere in there, there will be.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and I think that that's the beauty of like food. And I think what we're trying to do, especially like within Hispanic Kitchen, is not just showcase like Latino cuisine or like Latino creators or cooks. It's what are people doing within the spectrum of like Latinidad, right? So for instance, like if you look at any of our pages, I love to feature like people from different countries that are recreating Latino dishes in like a fusion way with like there's one with like a Indian cuisine
I saw that
or
one.
Japanese. Yeah, so it's how is our food to be able to kind of show a large audience how to diversify not only the culture but the food, right? Like we're not one dimensional, and that's
Yeah.
what I believe in. Like not one race is one dimensional, and neither is their cooking, right? So I worked in a Taiwanese restaurant as a chef in DC, and there's so many techniques that I learned that I've implemented into Latin food
Hmm.
from Taiwanese like cuisine and techniques, and it's just like I that's what I love about food, that there is like there shouldn't be, in my opinion,
Yeah.
barriers of what you can try, right? Like
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I kind of come to the terms where like you're never gonna really win on the internet in
Right.
terms of like that's the right way and wrong way to do it.
Agreed.
So I always tell people explore freely. Just explore freely because even if you
Yeah.
follow a recipe that's super traditional, it's still not going to be traditional in somebody's eye. So,
Right. Agreed. And yeah, like my chile verde recipe is different than yours, but it's
yeah.
based off of what my dad taught my mom, and then my mom taught me, and mine is different than all my siblings who all still make it, but we've all kind of made it our own, and that's a beautiful thing. You
Yeah.
should enjoy it.
Yeah.
Is there anything during Hispanic Heritage Month that you personally make sure to enjoy with your family or teach your boys? Or has Hispanic Kitchen done anything super pivotal this month to infuse the page or some meaning into the month for you?
So I think it's the opposite of that, right? Like I think that the nucleus of what Hispanic Kitchen and what we're trying to do is like essentially if Hispanic Kitchen and Heritage Hispanic Heritage Month was
Hmm.
365, what would it look like? And it's like Latino, like Hispanic Kitchen, right? So for
I love
us, is the same emphasis that is happening in Hispanic Heritage Month this month is the same emphasis that we wanted to carry over in November, December, January,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
really kind of like that through line of showcasing our cuisine and our culture and our heritage throughout the year, but in specifically like right now, I think it's more like with my kids and really kind of like showcasing food that we typically wouldn't eat on a regular basis and really like kind of diving deep into a certain region of food, right? Like Guerrero like food versus Michoacan is like very different. And like there's like enchiladas de Durango are very different than enchiladas de Jalisco, and it's really kind of like trying to tackle that. And, the rule of the house is you try it once, but you have to explain. If you like it, great. But if you don't like it, you have to have an explanation of what you didn't like it. Because I really want my kids to have an understanding of kind of explaining like
Mhm.
flavor profiles of like, oh, it's too
Yeah,
sweet, it's too sour. And I'm like, okay, but just to say no, you don't like it does not apply here.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
How old are your kids?
5 and 3. Yeah.
Oh, we're in the same era. We have a 3-year-old boy, and our daughter is going to turn 6 at the end of this month. And so
Yeah.
being able to articulate that, like what you liked or what you didn't like, is so interesting. We made like a pasta bolognese last night, and I said to Isla, I said, "Oh, I'm going to make a slice of garlic bread. Do you want some?" She goes, "Oh yeah, I love garlic bread." She's never tried garlic bread, and so I this is sourdough toast. I rub a raw clove of garlic on it, which I think was what caught her off guard, and then the butter and a little bit of like oregano and spices. And I gave it to her, and she goes, "I love it." And then like the garlic hit her.
Mm,
I wasn't able to really articulate it, but like it's just so interesting with children, exposing them to not just the flavor profiles, but then like layering in like meaning with the food.
yeah.
I think it's
So
just
I
a cool thing.
you mentioned something with garlic, and I did the same thing. It was like, okay, if I want to introduce garlic to my kids at a very young age, I have to cook it down in a like either a roast or confit kind of way where it like brings out the sweetness of it.
Yeah.
right.
So when I introduced it to them, I was like, this is good, right? And it has a little bit of sweetness. It's like the best. And then I had them try it raw, like diced, like a
Yeah.
piece of it. And it was like, for me, it was like to be able to explain the difference of like what cooking does to something, right? Like, and it was like in a very approachable, easy kind of way that's like, okay, you might like it like this, but you might not like it like that. So next time if I say, if you want garlic, do you want it cooked? So now like my son would be like, Papi, cook the garlic, please. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he knows now, like it's one of those things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'll have to work backwards from my mistake.
yeah.
But I love that. And I think it's, I was asked the question yesterday, how do you think about Gen Z being cooks? And Michelle and I just talked about this on the show last week. It's like, there's always people out there trying to learn. There's always
Mhm.
people out there hungry for learning about not just the techniques, but the traditions and like the meaning behind food. And I
Yeah,
think it's for folks like us, we become these stewards of the traditions, many of them cultural traditions around food. And like you said, like, yes, we might not make it exactly the right way, but these things are not monolithic. They change over time. And I think it's so, there's a lot of value to be derived there as
Mhm.
those that help share that with the next generation.
yeah,
Well, I think we're in a very pivotal time in like in terms of education of any sort, right? But like I'm 41 years old, like the internet was like very young and there was no like influencers. There was no like, so for someone that wanted to be a cook or learn how to cook, it was like either pick up a book and or like maybe something on TV. Like my
Yeah.
favorite show growing up was like Great Chefs of like the North or Great Chefs of the East, like that big like PBS show that used to come out all the time.
Yeah.
But now a Gen Z, somebody that's like 16, 20, 21 can literally go on social
Mhm.
on any platform and really kind of teach themselves how to cook. And I think that that's a beautiful thing, that it's like super accessible, more accessible than it has been in like years past.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a little different too. The packaging of content, the presentation, which is what you're getting at.
Yeah.
And it's hard to say that's good or that's bad, but it's certainly different, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Like anything else, like there's
probably good, actually.
positives and negatives.
Yeah,
oh
probably.
yeah.
You can
You just have to shine
certainly.
the light on the best parts, because it's whatever you focus on, you'll find. So either find, what serves you or find what doesn't. But
Yeah.
I'm always looking for the what serves me.
For
But
for the truly curious, I think there's much more out there, and I think that's actually
Yeah.
overwhelmingly beneficial. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think so. Like my grandkids, you know what they want to do with me? They want to make a food video because
Yeah.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
one of my granddaughters for her science project, can I make a video with you, Grandma? That's what I want to like. She wanted me
Mm,
to share that with her, and I'm like, of course I will. She's 9. Yeah, I will
yeah.
definitely. Let's record a video with you and I making cookies, and she loved it, and so yeah, that's some great curiosity and just fun, and you're creating memories, and
Yeah.
so I love it.
Yeah,
I
it's a
love
beautiful thing. I'm this kind of person that's like constantly like eager to learn. So
it.
I always get excited when I see somebody making something in a way like that I wouldn't particularly make, and I'm like, "Ah, I never thought of it like that."
Yeah.
And it's not always, and what I tell people all the time, it's not always the chef with the restaurant. It's like the everyday person that learned that technique from their grandmother or their aunt or somebody like their father taught them. And it was just like, I would have never thought of that. Like I've been in this industry for so long and I never would have like thought of that or if I wouldn't have seen that.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the Mexican taco truck that got the Michelin star recently? Are you guys both
Yeah.
familiar with that? Because that's exactly what we're saying, right? Like it's the recognition of skill and talent that doesn't necessarily originate in some multi-million-dollar restaurant, but like I
Yeah.
just saw that. I had to Google it really quickly to confirm that I had seen it, but that's new news. I think that only happened like a week or two ago.
Where
Yeah.
was
Because
it?
before
Oh, it was
that,
in May. Okay, so it was in May. So maybe it got resurfaced, but that's pretty new. I love that's becoming part of how we recognize that, and I think that's what you're saying too, Hugo.
yeah, because like if you think about it, so for instance, Michelle, like one of the coffee company that we went to in Austin,
Yeah.
they have a a coffee truck, like a trailer.
Yeah.
But if you ask people around Austin, it is probably the best coffee that people have had. So like the kind of monolithic kind of like structure of like for you to be recognized in this industry or in an industry, you have to have these brick and mortar like rules. I mean, if you look at like James Beard, they have a digital like nomination now. Like you have a digital page nomination, whereas before like that wasn't a thing. Like, and I think that people are starting to see that it's not linear. It's not just one singular way that you could do something. Um, and I'm super excited about it because, you know, when I was coming up in the game as like a chef, it was like the way you're gonna do it is like unless you're gonna be a chef, unless you're gonna have a restaurant, like there is no other like there
Mm.
was no other career path in food outside of that kind of like space. And if you were to ask me 25 years ago that I'd be doing what I'm doing now, being able to be in this industry in my home with my kids on fall break, to have that ability to have work and some life like balance and still be in food, like you couldn't pay me enough to believe that.
Right. Yeah. And that's just, and even 10 years down the road, what's it going to look like? It is just,
Yeah.
I think it's exciting, and it does a lot for the food industry and also the home cooks and
Mm.
just in general. It's good for the foodie scene, I think, because it opens up so many possibilities. And then
Yeah.
we all just get better and we learn and I love being curious. Like you said, I love to learn as well, and
Hmm.
especially about food. I will always take time to learn about food, always. And so the possibilities are amazing. I think that's great. So wait, where was the food truck? The taco food truck?
It was in East Austin. Oh no,
Oh,
wait.
it,
Oh, you're talking about the one that you were saying.
the James
I
Beard.
think the one I remember, the one, no, the Michelin star one that I remember was from Mexico, and it was like a taco stand. So I don't know. I
Okay.
might be missing this new one.
No, it was a year ago or a little over a year
Yeah.
ago. I think I got served something old recently, which you know how the internet makes old things new again.
Yeah.
No, but what happened, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. They were doing residencies in the United States. So they did like a
Oh,
residency in Los Angeles and Phoenix, and they would do it was so you are correct in terms of like they were popping up in like a food truck,
oh,
and they would ship, or they would like bring their like team with them kind of thing.
mm, mm,
Wow. Well, that's fun.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
missed that invitation. Dang.
I have a question before we do wrap here. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is just sort of a spontaneous one. If you were having a group of people over for dinner tonight with whatever you've got on hand, what would you make for them? I love hearing this kind of answer.
Okay. So I always have some sort of like carbohydrate like on deck. So I have rice, I have quinoa, I have farro, I have pasta. And I think the quickest thing to make, like I would probably do kind of like pasta. I have garlic. I'm like thinking through, like we were gone for the weekend, and I'm like, and I literally was looking through
Oh,
my fridge of like, what am I gonna make tonight for dinner?
that
And I was
sounds
like,
yeah.
yeah, I have garlic, I have butter, I have olive oil, I
Mm,
have black pepper. So I would probably make some sort of, and then I have like the rind of Parmigiano Reggiano. Like I don't even have anything left, but just like the rind of it.
yeah.
So I would probably like saute down the Parmesan first, get everything out of it in olive oil, and kind of make like cacio e pepe of
Oh,
like a basically like a super generic version of it, and just
Mhm.
taking the essence of the Parmesan, no actual cheese, but just kind of like perfume the garlic, I mean the olive oil,
yeah.
and then just drop some pasta water and
Mm.
put in there like maybe a little bit of like lemon. I got some like almost wilted parsley, and
Yep,
Yeah.
dice some of that up, and then we have dinner there. Yeah.
that sounds great.
I could almost be there. What time should I arrive?
Allie in the chat said,
You're
"Okay."
always welcome.
Or-
You're always welcome.
Oh, it sounds delicious. And we talked a little bit about pasta and just how easy it is to make a quick meal. I think on one of our recent shows, Bill, we talked about
Yeah.
Parmesan rind, even just so many possibilities with food. I love that. So,
Yeah, I love that question. Sort of getting in the mind of somebody who's like pressed to cook, and often these shows unfold that way too. Michelle and I will make something very quick, ad hoc, and it's like, what do we have? I don't know. We got to figure it out, and it's just
yeah.
so much fun. Everybody,
I'll tell you a real quick hack that
Yeah.
I made once that I like tell people all the time. I didn't have like I had one of those siete packets, seasoning packets. I had
Yeah.
a can of tomatoes, and I didn't have any tortillas or anything. And I literally had white bread. I rolled it, put cheese, and I made kind of like this makeshift enchilada sauce with the seasoning, tomato sauce, and then I made like enchiladas like made of white bread and like cheese. And like my kids loved it, and they ask for it all the time now. But it was like this like parent hack where you just like, I haven't gone to the grocery store, I don't have anything, like what can I make, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, there it is.
It's fun.
Those-
Yeah. I
Yeah.
threw it in the show just in case anybody wanted to grab it.
Oh,
Code FS Live.
well, I appreciate you so much taking time. Is there anything coming up with Hispanic Kitchen that we should be on the lookout for the rest of the year?
Yeah,
Anything?
actually. Yeah, within the month, we are doing this segment called Stage. So as you know, like Stage in the kitchen is like a internship. It's a short doc, kind of like a short documentary series. It's like going to be like about 7 to 10 minutes long, and it's that's why I was in Austin. We had a film crew. We went back to the restaurant, and I worked an entire shift from open. Yeah, at Nixta. From 7 a.m. to like 7 p.m. I did prep work, we made tortillas, and essentially the storyline is like me going back to the kitchen and seeing if I could still cook, but the reality of it is it's showcasing the restaurant worker.
Yeah.
So it's going to be coming out hopefully within the month, and we're going to do some short clips, like some social shorts from it, but we're going to put it up on a long format video, which I'm really, really excited about. It's a great story about the restaurant worker.
Yeah. Oh, and of course it's a story. That's what
Yeah.
you But I love that you got to go back to Nixta, and that is
Yeah.
an amazing restaurant in Austin. For anyone out there, find your way and just enjoy.
Yeah.
Because
It's an amazing restaurant, amazing team. They opened their doors and welcomed us with open arms, and I couldn't be any more thankful for this project. So yeah, look out for that.
Definitely, we'll be on the lookout. And thanks for taking time out of your day while your kids are home. They didn't join us. Great. I mean, they could have, but it would have been, okay. We love visitors. But we sure appreciate you taking time and being with us. And
thank you for the invitation. Thank you so much. Very grateful to be here, and you guys are amazing. I love what you're doing.
All right.
Thank you. And we'll be over for dinner shortly.
Perfect.
All right. See everybody.
Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.